students, I want to take a quick pause to say thank you to our amazing sponsor, Student RDH. Student RDH is a board prep company that helps you succeed and pass the national board exam, whether you are in the US or Canada. Student RDH has everything that you need to be successful on the board exam. There are over 5,000 practice questions, 2 mock exams, and a pre-assessment, a post-assessment. There's online videos. There's an incredible textbook. And there are even live sessions. So we have live case study sessions, and those help to get you ready for the case study section of the board exam, which if you're taking the MBDA, that's 43% of the exam right there. So being successful on the cases is important, and Student RDH can help with that. I love Student RDH. I've actually worked for them as a faculty member for over 2 years, and the dedication behind the scenes for the students is what keeps me working with them and is what makes me happy to have them as a sponsor. Student RDH is also a huge supporter of the Dental Hygiene Basics Scholarship, so we want to give a huge thank you to Student RDH. Make sure you go follow them on socials at Student RDH and go check out their website when you're starting to shop for your board exams, studentrdh.com. All right, let's get into the episode.
Hello, and welcome to the Dental Hygiene Basics Podcast. My name is Dana. I'm your host. I'm so excited to be here. As always, I say that every time, but I am. I'm always excited to tune in, check in, and I'm in my bed right now. There's probably background noise. It is what it is. I was just laying here and I suddenly started thinking about time management and, different time management techniques. And with that being said, I know that you've probably heard my story and you know that I'm a pretty busy lady. I'm into all sorts of things. I was moderating the Student RDH Summit all day today. And when I got off that at 2:00, I took my dog for a walk, came back, made dinner. No dinner. I didn't eat all day, which is terrible. But then I laid down and just relaxed for a little bit, took a little nap. Anyways, I'm up now. I have to get back to work because I have tutoring tomorrow morning for the national board. I'm recording a podcast tomorrow, and then I'm babysitting for my sister tomorrow night. So there's just a lot going on. I'm in a very busy season of my life, and I have come up with some time management techniques that have made my life a lot easier. These may be unexpected, but I think any time management techniques can help the future dental hygienist, right? Dental hygiene, we have to know time management, and it's something that you're going to get better with without a doubt as you go through school. But you are absolutely forced to get better at time management once you start practicing dental hygiene, in the real world, I like to say, because you may have 45-minute to an hour appointment where you have to get so much done. I don't think that people really understand how much a dental hygienist gets done in a very short amount of time. And I always tell my students, we work in seconds, not even minutes, and every second counts. I like to tell the story of this one office that I worked at that had the slowest computers of all time. I mean, so slow. So what I would do is I would go in the room before I would seat my patient. I would pull up the patient chart and get it ready to enter in notes about the health history because I knew it was going to take a few minutes to open. Then I would go seat the patient. I'd go to a different computer that was a little faster to take my x-rays. Then when I would seat the patient, I'd be ready to type in my notes, like reviewing their health history, their blood pressure, all that stuff. Well, then after that, I would go ahead and open the perio chart. And the perio chart, for whatever reason, would always take 15 minutes to open. So the perio chart is where we have to assess each tooth. We're looking at the gums and to see how well attached they are to the teeth. And we're also marking things down like bleeding. Do we see pus? Anything that we see while we're doing, we are marking this down in the perio chart. So it would take so long for it to open that I would open it up. And in that time, I would, get the patient ready, put their bib on, do like EOIO exam. Oh, I'm sorry, the extraoral and intraoral, I would assess their like head and neck, inside their mouth. I would be having conversations with them. And then I would let them know, okay, now we're going to perio chart because it would take that long for the perio chart to come up. So you find ways to be adaptable and flexible and speed up even when your functions aren't working with you. Now, of course, I recommend making anything you can in your life work better for you, not against you. In that situation, if I could be that productive and finish my appointments on time with that, level of slowness of my computer, just think what I could have done and what I could have had time for if everything had worked the way that it should have. So I know that's kind of a random story, but just something that I was thinking about. And so let me tell you some of my time management hacks these are just a few things that I do to kind of keep me on track. I'm in a very busy season of my life. I don't know who I'm kidding. I'm always incredibly busy with work. I love work. I love what I do. And so sometimes that bleeds into other aspects of my life, just like it will when you are in dental hygiene school. In dental hygiene school, your life goes on. You still have to manage other things. Maybe you're a parent. Maybe, you need to keep your house clean, right? You still want to exercise and take care of your body. You still need to eat. So you have to figure out like, when are you going to cook? So any time management hacks that I can give you, they will not only serve you at any busy time in your life, but especially during dental hygiene school. So the first one, this time management hack, I guess you would call it time management. I think it is. So if you've ever read the book Atomic Habits, there is a section on stacking your habits. So an example of this is, for years, I kind of always just wanted to like wake up, journal, do like a little stretching or yoga. If I could have convinced myself to go to the gym, like those were all things I wanted to do. And I actually do all of those things now. And so it was like, how did I start doing this? Well, I didn't change it all overnight, but I started this process called habit stacking, where it was like, okay, I used to get up in the morning, and I do work best in the morning. So I would just get up, grab my coffee, and go sit on my computer. Well, I work best in the morning. So I need to get done as much as I can. Like that's for me, that is kind of important to me, done in the morning, because I will shift and deal with everyone else's problems before I'll even deal with my own. So I decided to kind of switch that. So first it was like, I'm going to get up in the morning. I am going to get dressed. I'm going to brush my teeth, wash my face, put on deodorant, all that stuff. I'm going to take my dog for a walk, just to like use the restroom, whatever. And it gets me moving a little bit. And it's nothing crazy. We're usually only gone for like 8 to 10 minutes. And so I used to come back in and I would hop on my yoga mat. I would stretch. I would try and do a little bit of meditation. And then as I was getting my coffee ready, I would sit down and I would journal. So that was my habit stack, right? It was like, after I did do this, I do this next. And so it started out slow. It was just one thing at a time. Like first it was like, go for a slightly longer walk in the morning. Then it was like, okay, now come home and stretch. So I was adding on one more little thing. And so my latest thing is I do all of that, but right when I get back with my dog, I just go straight to the gym. And so, I'm lucky I live in an apartment complex. So I have a gym like within steps to my apartment. And then I tell myself I only have to go for 2 minutes. And I always end up staying for at least 15, 25 minutes. To me, that's good enough, right? But it gets me there. It gets me moving. And then I come back, I do my stretching, my journaling, drink my coffee, and then I'm ready to get started on my day. And so those are kind of ways that you can work the things that are important to you into your schedule. Or if you're struggling to get something done, like you need to focus on your scheduling and time management better, try and habit stack something that you need to do regularly with something you already do in your life. So for example, if it's like, if the first thing you do in the morning is you get up and you go straight to the coffee maker, that's like, okay, as soon as I grab my cup of coffee, I'm going to sit on the couch and I'm going to write 3 flashcards that are going to help me memorize 3 drugs for pharmacology. Or I'm going to, read 1 chapter of this textbook, like I'm going to skim read it. Or I'm going to watch 1 video on a topic that I've been struggling with in school. So find some different ways that you can habit stack that will help to kind of enhance your learning and then also take care of yourself as well. So anything you can do to habit stack, I think it's almost kind of addicting once you get the hang of it. And so that's one time management technique that I can recommend. The second thing that I could recommend would be, if it takes less than 2 minutes, go ahead and do it right away. So an example of this might be something, for me, it's always unloading the dishwasher or loading the dishwasher, right? I'm like, I know I need to load the dishwasher. And I don't know why. I just hate it so bad, because then after I do it, I feel so much better. But if it takes 2 minutes, just do it right away. So it's kind of like if you see a mess, if you see like trash on the floor, it's like, if it takes less than 2 minutes, just pick it up and deal with it right then. Because over time, that's just going to help you to manage your life around your house better. It's going to help you to manage little tasks faster. So for example, if you get an email and you're like, if I can deal with this in 2 minutes, then I'm going to deal with it right now and be done with it. If it's like, ooh, I need to sit on that, or that's going to require some research on my part, put it at another time when you have time to deal with it. So that is my actual third hack, like kind of just thinking about it. Do your best to limit distractions from things like social media and your emails. Now, I am not going to pretend that I am perfect at this. This is actually something that I'm actively working on. which is not checking my emails and social media incessantly because I have this fear that someone is going to message me and I'm going to miss it and that something major is going to happen. I mean, there's no such thing as a dental hygiene education emergency. So I don't know how or why I train myself to function this way, but alas, it is what it is, and I am working on it. But I heard this somewhere, and I wish I could remember where I heard this, but it basically said emails are other people's expectations becoming your obligations. So yes, when you're in dental hygiene school, you absolutely have to check your email. I hate to break to you, you have to be checking your email every single day because your teachers will be sending you out important information, things you need to know for class, so on and so forth. And this is why I recommend setting boundaries on when you're going to check email or social media. So I only check emails at, maybe 7:30 a.m. when like right after I finish my coffee, I'm going to check my emails to make sure that there's nothing that I need to know for the day ahead. And then maybe at, 4:30 p.m., I'm going to respond to any emails that need to be dealt with. Otherwise, there is no need for us to be checking our emails, at 10:30 at night when we should be sleeping or studying. And if you're like me, it's kind of an addictive feeling to get rid of those little like notifications on your email. Honestly, I think that's why I check it so much is because it makes me feel good that I'm like checking something off a little bit. I don't know. Yeah. So that is another thing that can really help save you time is trying to focus on where do you lose time. For me, I lose time absolutely when I check my email because even if it's only, 2 seconds that I hop on and I check it, that distracts me from something else that I could have been doing, or I get sucked into something that someone else needs, right? That's not on my time frame, not on my agenda, because of course I'm going to mention an excellent way to save or to manage your time is to have a to-do list, every single day or have some type of plan for how you're going to lead your days in dental hygiene school. I always talk about how you definitely need a planner. You need to be organized. Preparation powers performance. And these planners, I mean, they really can and should be a big part of your life in dental hygiene school. You're going to have to manage not only your coursework, but also all of your patients. So knowing what the plan is for the week ahead, and then of course, looking at it just quickly for the day makes a big difference in making sure that you get done what needs to get done in the correct amount of time, and also can save you from wasting time on things that are not high priority. So I've heard some people say, they will write down 4 boxes like of the things they need to get done. And then it'll be like high priority needs to get done now, medium priority, low priority. And then there's some that are the lowest priorities that are things that maybe you just want to do or you feel like you should do. For me, those are usually like random ideas that I cook up, like I should be doing this, and it's like, no, I don't really need to do that. Like when things get busy, that is the lowest priority, but I will keep it on my to-do list forever and ever thinking, it'll be like learn Spanish, right? That's been forever on my to-do list. And I have not been in a season in my life that I have time to dedicate to that right now. It's something I want to do. I feel like I should be doing, but I can learn Spanish when I'm 90 if I want to. I truly believe that. So just really think about your priorities and what do we need to take out to make you successful, to make it to where you have the time to deal with things. Where are you losing time? So it's always a great idea to do a time audit, look at where you spend time and lose time. What would you rather be doing in that time? Maybe it's you need to be studying, or maybe it's, instead of an hour on social media, I'm going to spend an hour with my family or my dog or my spouse or by myself, because there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. That's one of my favorite things to do is just be alone and try and consider, just what could I be doing instead? And how could these other things be bringing value to my life instead of just wasting time doing something else? And I'm not going to say that all social media or email checking is time wasting because it does need to get done and it can be fun and enjoyable. I really like to connect with other people on social media. So I completely understand that. And I think that there is a time and place for it, but it can also take over a big part of our lives. And next thing you know, we're not meeting our personal goals because we've been so consumed with this thing that can very easily distract us. All right. My last tip that I have is I mentioned doing a time audit, seeing where you're losing time, but also see how long it takes you to do certain things. So there's different timers that you can use to actually time yourself while you're doing things and see where you are either losing time or how long projects are taking you or how long it's taking you to study for something, because that really clues you in on how much time you need to do a task, right? For me, if I sit down and I tell myself I have 15 minutes to check and deal with these emails, then that's how much time I have. And that's a lot of times you can finish what needs to get done in that time. I can't remember what the law is, but it's like however much time you give yourself for a task, that's how much time it will take. So if you just have 3 to 4 hours to spend on doing something, it will probably take you 3 to 4 hours. But we all know that if you're like, I need to do this in 1 hour, like, and you feel kind of pressure, like, oh, I need to get this done, like you somehow make it happen, right? So just consider how much time do things really need? Where can you cut back on things that maybe you're giving too much time that don't really need that much time so that you can gain some extra minutes elsewhere? And yeah, so those are just some of my favorite tips. Maybe I'll do another episode on just tips for moving a little bit faster in clinic for those who are in dental hygiene schools. Stay tuned. That might be my next episode. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you found some help here in time management. But the other thing I wanted to mention is my website is finally live. So www.dentalhygienebasics.com. This website will continue to evolve and change because I have so many plans, so many thoughts, hopes, dreams on ways to support future dental hygiene students and current dental hygiene students. I know I've mentioned that I'm a national board tutor. And so if you're interested in national board tutoring, go check out my website. I actually have a web page where you can read all about the tutoring services. And if you're ready to schedule a session, you can do so right there. I also give a little information about my group tutoring sessions. So the group tutoring sessions are very affordable. And it gives you an accountability partner, each week to show up, and we have a plan for what we're going over. And it's very nice because it's very affordable and we have a lot of fun together, bouncing ideas off each other, answering questions, practicing strategy. So if you are at that stage in your dental hygiene career, I would love for you to come on over, check out the page, and come join me for a tutoring session. All right, everyone. I hope you have an amazing day. Best of luck on your journey, future registered dental hygienist. I'll see you next time.